Welcome to the Foxtrot Inventory Management Suite. We're going to show you how it can transform complex supply chain operations into streamlined, intelligent workflows. We've built a comprehensive AI-powered ecosystem on Palantir Foundry that doesn't just digitalize these processes, it fundamentally transforms them through intelligent automation and predictive analytics. I'm going to show you how we turn inventory management from a collection of dashboards and spreadsheets into an operating system, one where humans and AI can see the same reality, prioritize work, and then actually execute, including right back to your own source systems. Start with the core challenge faced in supply chain management today. It isn't just how much stock do we have, it's how do we prevent waste, avoid stockouts, renegotiate supplier terms with confidence, and keep warehouses running smoothly, while your data lives across ERP, WMS, procurement tools, spreadsheets, PDFs, and emails. What makes this hard in the real world is not the analytics, it's the plumbing, the governance, and the closed loop. Getting trustworthy data into one model, keeping it current, and then turning insight into action with auditability. And that's what Foundry plus AIP unlocks, and what Foxtrot delivers end-to-end. You will see food inventory in this demo, but the concepts are easily interchangeable for objects and workflows in multiple industries: manufacturing, retail, construction, biotech, pharmaceuticals, to name a few. So let's start where a company executive might start. A single control tower that summarizes cost, efficiency, and risk, and highlights what matters right now. So across the top, we're tracking cost optimization of 2.8 million against our financial year target. Efficiency, inventory efficiency of 87%. Total cost of $78.5 million with a financial year target shown for context. An effective discount rate of 3.6%. And supply chain risk exposure of 12%. Now, these aren't just static KPIs. Each one is connected to the underlying objects, lots, suppliers, contracts, and actions, so that you, the user, can drill down into the detail with confidence. But here's the key. This is not a dashboard. This is a prioritization service. As a senior executive, this is the information I need at my fingertips to make key business decisions. On the left, we're computing executive priorities based on rules you control. So here we're looking at contract renegotiation, inventory rebalancing, and risk mitigation. In a typical organisation, surfacing these priorities takes a manual weekly process, pulling reports, reconciling definitions, debating which number is the right number. In Foundry, the priorities are computed directly from the shared operational model and updated as the world changes. In the middle, where you can see the 30-day inventory forecast, we can see 20 forecasted lots, and we can see the upper, median, and lower projected inventory value bonds. Importantly, we can also see which model is selected, here gradient boosting. This matters because forecasting is only valuable if it's usable. If you can trace inputs, understand uncertainty, and then turn the forecast into a decision, not just a number on a slide. Now, we layer on AIP on top of this operational foundation. So with one click, AIP can generate recommendations for executive prioritization. For example, contract strategy. Which contracts should I renegotiate or diversify and why? Inventory optimization. Where are there quality control failures or spoilage risk is driving losses? Or thirdly, supplier diversification. Where concentration risk is too high for critical items. Two important points here. First, these recommendations are grounded in the ontology, the real objects and relationships in your business, not a one-off spreadsheet. Second, in a production deployment, each recommendation is paired with an action workflow. Propose a plan, simulate impact, execute, and then write back to source systems with an audit trail. That closed loop is what makes an operating system, not a reporting tool. So when we execute, for example, initiate contract renegotiation or quarantine a lot, which we'll see later in the demo, we can see right back to the systems that actually run the business, your EIP, procurement platform, WMS, ticketing system, or messaging tools. Under the hood, that write back can be done via API or webhook. Critically, we log what happened, who approved it, what was sent, and the downstream information. This is one of the biggest gaps in most analytics stacks and is fundamental for real-world operations. Now, everything you just saw depends on the data foundation. This is the lineage view. And as you can see, on the left-hand side, these are your source inputs. ERP and WS tables, supplier feeds, flat files, and importantly, unstructured inputs like signed PDFs and contract documents. You can bring in time series sensor data, inspection images, or IoT feeds, anything that influences availability, quality, or cost. The middle is the transformation layer. This is the joining, standardizing units, reconciling the identifiers, building time series, all the steps that normally live in brittle scripts spread across teams. And on the right, you will see the objects and applications that are built on top. The inventory control, executive control tower, supplier management, warehouse management. The reason this matters is trust. If someone asks, why does this number look from, where does this lot come from, we can trace it back step by step to the source. And not only that, Foundry monitors pipeline health and data quality, so issues surface before they break operations. And this is where the ontology comes in. Instead of every team having their own definition of supplier performance or expired inventory, we define core operational objects, contracts, suppliers, lots, forecasts, and actions. And then everything else, including AIP agents, works on top of that shared model. That's what enables human plus AI teaming. Agents can propose actions using the same objects your teams use to validate and execute. So from this control tower, we can then drill down into role-specific control towers. For contracting procurement teams, we have a supplier control tower, which is a prioritization queue of contracts requiring attention, contract performance, and discount tracking, AIP-assisted contract ingestion from PDFs, so contract terms are captured once and then monitored continuously. For operations teams, we go into the warehouse management, lot level traceability and expired lots and quality control status, alerts that drive tasks, and dynamic scheduling that proposes rebalancing at scale, including downstream comms, so supervisors aren't spending the day coordinating changes manually. At Foxtrot, we build production-grade systems, not one-off MVPs. Our teams have deployed Foundry and AIP across commercial and government clients, and what we've learned is consistent. The bottleneck is rarely, can we build a dashboard? It's, can we create a trusted operational model, keep it current, and automate the work so teams focus on judgment and exceptions? You're not buying charts, you're building an operating system for decisions and execution. Recap. We start with the outcome, a control tower that answers, what do I need to do? We use AIP to propose prioritize actions grounded in the operational model, and we close the loop with execution and write back plus auditability. We can always trace the why through lineage and quality controls. For more detail of our supplier management and warehouse operations covering workflows such as dynamic scheduling or contract ingestion, tune in for part 2. Thank you for watching.